Ladies and gentlemen, now we extend a very warm welcome to viewers joining us live and exclusive on Spike TV, and also to boxing fans joining us ringside here this evening at the Westcroft Leisure Centre in Carshalton. Hennessy Sports now proud to present a super flyweight contest. They're scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds of boxing. Bob Edgeworth from Bromley is the appointed timekeeper at ringside, and upon the sound of the bell, our scoring referee is Ian John Lewis from Gillingham. Firstly, boxing out of the blue corner, his official weight for the contest, 8 stone 6 pounds. 51 fights as a professional boxer, 35 victories, 26 finishing inside the scheduled distance. 14 defeats and 2 draws make up his record. This evening he's wearing the white shorts trimmed with blue and boxes out of Chinandega in Nicaragua. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Everth Briceno. And across the ring, boxing this evening out of the red corner stands Wales' most successful amateur boxer ever. His weight for the contest, 8 stone 4 pounds even. 2 fights as a professional boxer, 2 victories, both finishing inside the scheduled distance. Tonight, he's wearing the black shorts trimmed with gold. Entering the ring as a 2 times boxing bronze medalist, former silver medal winner, and 2 times European Championship gold medalist from Barry, South Wales. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the undefeated Andrew Superstar Selby. Referee Ian John Lewis will now issue his final instructions to both boxers.
I am the referee. Obey my command at all times. You both know the rules. With your heads, keep the punches up. And when I shout break, you break clean. And remember, defend yourselves at all times. Shake hands.
This is a super flyweight contest. We're scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds of boxing.
So the latest instalment in the already decorated career of Andrew Selby in the black and white shorts up against Everth Briceno, and this is a very interesting match to take in your 3rd professional fight. Briceno with 51 fights, 34 wins, 15 defeats, 2 draws. Has fought for world titles on 2 occasions. Lately, he's been going the rounds. Hasn't been picking up too many wins, but he's still a very, very tough man. Went 6 with Kiko Martinez, a fighter we know all about, of course, for his battles with Carl Frampton. Recently went 12 rounds with Cal Yafai in Dublin last November. Yafai winning that one wide on the card. Selby beating Yafai in a box-off when they were GB teammates. His first couple of fights were at 8 rounds, immediately going into 8-rounder Selby, which is unusual in itself. 6 3-minute rounds this time, and he just looks as relaxed as he always does, Richie.
He does indeed, and already he switched to southpaw a couple of times. He's a natural switch hitter, is Andrew Selby, and probably does it without himself even realising that he's switching. That's how naturally he does it. And Briceno, very, I think, cleverly just sitting on the back foot, so he's not getting too reckless, and he knows he's in against a real live wire here, a skillful kid. So he's tucking up and just seeing what his opponent has got in front of him. But if you look at, that's a great left hand there, southpaw against Selby. But if you look at Briceno, he's not coming over his front foot too much. He's just waiting, because he knows this kid's pretty special. He will have heard all about him. And like a wise old owl, he's sitting back and just taking a look.
Well, Selby with 2 stoppage wins so far. The last one just 3 weeks ago. When he was speaking to us after the fight, he was saying that he feels he'll be ready for world titles in 10 to 12 fights, which is exactly your synopsis, your read on the situation as well, Richie.
Absolutely. I think there are only a certain amount of boxers that get fast-tracked like this, but Selby, because of his age and the experience he's had as an amateur, You know, he's certainly in the bracket of Lomachenko's, who was boxing for a world title, and he's just his second fight. Maybe that's a little bit too early for Andrew Selby, but he won't be far off. I said between 10 and 12 fights, I think this guy will box for a world title, and that would be an achievement in itself. But that just shows you how good he is and how experienced he's been as an amateur. He won't find any trouble really switching to 8, 10 and 12 rounds, I don't think, anyway.
Selby proving elusive in this opening 3 minutes, as he always does. Briceno working with the left hand to the body there as we close in the final 10 seconds. Selby just letting go with the left hand as he head up towards the bell. Well, 3 minutes down, the first round down. Lee Selby there, brother of Andrew, of course, the current IBF featherweight champion, who actually defended against Fernando Montiel most recently, one of the fighters that Briceno challenged for a world title. Now goes for the start of the second round, and Selby again just bouncing on the balls of his feet, looking to find a way in here. Briceno trying to come forward himself. Has fought for the Nicaraguan Superfly and Bantamweight titles in recent times as well, losing over 10 rounds on both occasions. He's only been stopped twice, once by Leo Santa Cruz, who was a rival of Andrew's older brother Lee, now in the featherweight division, and also William Gonzalez.
He made a mistake there, Briceno. It was a rare mistake. He came forward, he overreached, and he got caught with a counter, and that's why he tucked up in the first round. And there was an example of it there as he's backing Selby into the corner, just overreached a little bit and then walked onto a good shot from Selby. But Selby again switching. His movement is a big problem for Briceno. He can't figure this guy out. He's starting to come forward a little bit more now, Briceno, but I think that's the wrong tactic. He's just going to walk onto shots. Difficult man to box against is Selby, because he's so good at boxing orthodox and southpaw. A lot of switch hitters come square with their feet and get caught on the switch, but this guy, very talented indeed.
Well, switches between the two stances with the minimum of fuss, with an economy of effort, really. Briceno again trying to come forward, trying to let go of that right hand there.
That's probably his best chance there, when he actually backs him into the corner. That's where he's got to keep Andrew Selby and just restrict the movement of the Welshman. But centre ring, it's going to be Selby's contest. Now he's got to go to work, Briceno, but there you go, he lets him out.
Left hand to the body there from Selby. Interesting observer just a few rows behind us, Charlie Edwards, the English flyweight champion. Just asked him when his next fight is. He's hoping to fight for the British title on the undercard of Quigg Frampton at the end of February. That's vacant at the moment after Kevin Satchell vacated it. So we could almost make that match now, Richie, could we?
Absolutely. Selby there just took up the shots, but he got his hands up nice and high, so he's thinking about defence as well. But his movement, you see, is far superior to his opponent. Briceno is really struggling to keep with his opponent in terms of the movement. Can't pin him down.
Edward Selby, former GB teammates, of course, will be a cracking watch as we head into the final 20 seconds of the round. Briceno coming forward with a wide right hand. Briceno looking to go to the body there, hook to the body, then the left hand to the head as well, as we tick up towards the end of the second session.
Good right hand to the body there from Andrew Selby. Another round for him. Some good work here from Selby, just on the inside. Look, 2 shots there, and he covers up, and then there's another left hook and blocks what's coming back.
Into the third round, they're scheduled for 6 at super flyweight. It's been listed at Andrew Selby in the black and white, Briceno in the blue and white. When it comes to fighting for titles, Selby will very much be at flyweight. Kevin Satchell was the European, British and Commonwealth champion. He's had a very difficult year, only fought once, just the 1 round that lasted, so those titles have disappeared through a mixture of him vacating them and them being stripped. He's looking for world honours, but recent comments have seen him suggest that he would happily get in the likes of Selby, the likes of Edwards. He just wants to get back on track and get back active again.
Good switch of pace again from Selby there, 3 or 4 shots, keeps the movement going. You've got to remember, Briceno he's a big puncher, isn't he? He's got 26 knockouts in his 35 wins. So if Selby was to hold his feet and stand and trade with the guy, then it really brings him into it. And that's probably what Briceno is hoping for, to try and draw him in, make him hold his feet, then he'll have a chance of landing some big punches. But look at shots like that body shot then, and then he's back out to safety. That's skill. Lovely skill from Andrew Selby.
Well, he's just looking to fight as often as he can at the moment. This one came up again at relatively short notice. Briceno was in the UK recently, just a fortnight ago, lost to Thomas Patrick Ward, 15-0 Ward was going into that one at Rainton Meadows. Just 6 days before that was when he went 6 threes with Kiko Martinez. And he's still in good shape. Just got caught with the left hand there as he overbalanced slightly.
But he made a mistake there, and didn't he? See that right hand, he threw the shot too far away, misses the target, and Selby capitalises. See, that's where he needs him to be. See that little right uppercut on the inside there, that was good from Briceno. But Andrew Selby will learn from that. He knows in and out movement, side to side, and then he's okay. Stand with this fella, and you'll let him in.
Selby looking to jab to the body. The left just banged into the ribcage of Briceno there from Selby as well.
Those are long-range punches, though. So he's still thinking about defence and staying on the outside. Everything there was thrown at long range. There's a big gap between himself and his opponent.
Selby looking to stick in the left hand. Just bobs and weaves his way forward behind that tight guard. Briceno missing with a high hook. What a flurry there from Selby. The final left hand looked a little bit low to me, but there was one there that just got through and knocked the sweat off the head of Briceno.
Some real skill shown from Andrew Selby in this round, just on the outside. A slashing shot across the body there. Let's have a look at this one on the inside, though. There's that right uppercut from Briceno. That was a good punch.
Into the second half of this contest, scheduled for 6 at super flyweight. Andrew Selby boxing nicely in the black and white. Everth Briceno, the enormously experienced campaigner from Nicaragua, in the blue and white. Briceno hasn't come up against an opponent who's had just 2 professional fights since he made his debut, and then in his 4th contest, so this is something new for him.
Terrific left hand there earlier, Andy, from the southpaw stance, and then he switches. And you see what I like about Andrew Selby, he'll box away, he'll catch his opponent with a shot, and then there's an injection of pace. He goes through the gears, puts 3s and 4s together, and then the movement's still there as well. That shows his class.
Briceno just falling short, wandered in behind that right hand a little bit. Selby,
oh, lovely.
Great movement again.
Enjoying himself now, Andrew Selby, very, very confident.
Left hand to the body. We've been talking about the kind of progression he could make. You look at somebody like Kevin Satchell, he won a Commonwealth in his 8th fight, the British in his 9th, the European in his 13th. Swift progress can be made at the lower weights. You look at somebody like Noah Nua, he's won 2 world titles in his first 8 fights.
Well, the WBC flyweight champion from Nicaragua, the same as Briceno, is probably the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world today, Roman Martinez. He's 44-0 with 38 knockouts. Tremendous fighter from Nicaragua. He's probably done some sparring with this guy, but Briceno just cannot work out the movement from the movement patterns of Selby. Really incredible, I think. He's here, he's there, he switches stance. Look, he switches there and just throwing that shot from a southpaw stance. And Briceno has probably hasn't come up against this sort of talent and style for a long time.
Well, Gonzalez, who you mentioned, bringing a lot of attention back to the lower weights, the first time for quite a long time, featuring on big HBO cards, on pay-per-view cards. Many people's #1 in the pound for pound rankings now that Floyd Mayweather has hung up the gloves. If you believe that they'll stay hung up or not. Briceno just missing with a winging left hand there.
And Briceno's been in with the likes of Martin, hasn't he, and Leo Santa Cruz, but with all due respect to those boxers, they haven't got the flair like Andrew Selby. They're good fighters, but this kid, he's a special talent, Andrew Selby.
Right hand just clipped Briceno. He hasn't looked shaken by anything that he's received so far, but he's just finding it very hard to get to grips with Andrew Selby at the moment at the end of this 4th round.
Dominant round again from Lee Selby. Southpaw here, straight left hand through the guard. That was a terrific shot. Briceno coming forward but walks onto punches, right hook to the body there, and then Selby gets out of the way.
So 2 to go here. Andrew Selby in the black and white, Everth Briceno in the blue and white. And the advice coming in from Tony Borg in the corner there for Andrew Selby. And that gym that he's got is unbelievable. You look at the success, the medals between them. Joe Cordino, European Championship gold. Fred Evans, Olympic silver. Sean McGoldrick, Commonwealth gold. Andrew Selby, World Championship medals, European golds. Lee Selby has won every possible professional title he could win. Gary Buckland has won titles as well. I can't think of another gym like it.
Tremendous talent in that part of Wales. Rare bit of success there for Briceno, but he let Andrew Selby off there at that corner. And Selby intelligently knew he was in a bad position there, and that's to get out.
Well, we mentioned Charlie Edwards sitting just behind us, who after a long career with the GB team has turned professional. Others have recently as well, the likes of Warren Baster, Josh Taylor too. Saw him a couple of weeks ago. He's made a good start to his professional career. When you were up in Sheffield, Richie, was there anything you saw in Selby that made you think that he might be coming to the end, he might be thinking about going pro?
Well, we were all hoping he would hang on for another Olympic cycle, but you know, the pro game is very tempting for these boxers, and he'd already done 1 Olympics, and to keep the British lads for 2 cycles is very difficult indeed, and so he decided to turn pro. But it hasn't surprised me, the success he's having and the impact he's having on boxing in this weight division. Tremendous talent.
His amateur career, I think, probably from the wider public, didn't get the recognition it really deserved, due to the fact that in the Commonwealth Games and the Olympic Games, which are on terrestrial TV, which get the wider coverage, it didn't go his way.
Well, that didn't go his way. He just got caught with a couple of good shots there, clowning about a little bit. His hands are very low, but he's still confident. Yeah, it was a shame, really. I mean, in the Olympic Games, he draws the Cuban who goes on to win the gold. I mean, if they're on the opposite side of the draw, that's probably the final. There wasn't a lot in the contest against Rob C. Ramirez of Cuba. Just unfortunately lost him in the quarter-final.
So we just got caught by a left hand there again as Briceno tried to walk him back towards the ropes. Briceno led with the uppercut and paid for it there. Just got clipped on the chin. So, you know, ever the South American, Central American warrior, just waving Selby in there.
37 years of age, is still hard as nails, this fella, Briceno.
Well, the bell goes at the end of the 5th round, and the seats filling up in the Westcroft Leisure Centre. Everybody very much enjoying watching a high-quality performer in action, as is he. Selby admits he gets very nervous watching his brother fight, much more nervous than he does fighting himself.
Some good work again from Selby. Just walks forward there, overreaches with the right hand, but then makes up with it with a straight left. Let's have a look at here. Switches the attack from body to head, and actually playing games with each other here. Briceno, as if to say, no, you didn't hurt me.
Chris Sanagar in there as well, of course. What a time they've had of it recently. Lee Haskins elevated to full IBF bantamweight champion after Randy Caballero missed the weight in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago. Sixth and final round between these two. Andrew Selby in the black and white. Another good performance from him against Everth Briceno, who, given his wealth of experience at world level as well, looks like he's going to take Selby the distance here for the first time in his professional career. I mentioned that he started off with 2 8-rounders. Lomachenko started with a 10-rounder. Rigondeaux a couple of 4-rounders and an 8-rounder, a 10-rounder rather, in his third fight.
In and out movements again from Selby. Troubling Briceno.
Spent his time in WSB as well, Andrew Selby. Draft has just been made for the next season, which starts in January. The British Lionhearts were very active, recruiting a number of fighters.
Quality shots there from Andrew Selby. Left hook, right hand. It all came about, I think of Briceno just caught Selby just above us with a good body shot, and so Andrew just planted his feet slightly longer and threw a couple of heavier shots there from Andrew Selby. Briceno again, sometimes he tries a little bit of sustained pressure like now, but it's the movement that he can't cope with. So he's on that front foot. He's trying to pin his man down, but look at that. That was a quality shot on the inside there. Short left hand, and then he moves away. And it's a frustrating time again for Briceno. Everywhere he's walking, he just cannot hit the target.
Well, Briceno just trying to follow Selby around the ring, really. His brother Lee, after his last fight, said that he thinks he could go on to become the best Welsh fighter ever. You look at the competition in recent times, Joe Calzaghe, go back a few decades to Jimmy Wilde, plenty in between as well.
Howard Winston, fighter he was.
Well, deep into the final minutes.
I mean, there will be things to work on, obviously. Occasionally his hands are a little bit too low when he's in punching range, but that's part of his style, and that's what excites people with him. He's there to take a shot occasionally with the hands low, but you try and catch him. But his skills really are very good indeed. The switch hitting, the movement with the feet, throws shots from different angles, and the speed there, look, very good indeed.
And still got plenty in the tank as we head up towards the final bell, and the bell goes at the end of 6 rounds. An appreciative nod there from Briceno. It'll be interesting actually to get his take on the abilities of Selby, given the company that he's kept over, well, the last 15 years in the professional prize ring. The doctor just checking Briceno out. He looks absolutely fine to me, as Selby just gets towelled down in the opposite corner. And another successful outing. I think they would have expected Briceno to take their man the 6 rounds tonight, and he has, and it may well have been what they wanted after 2 stoppages.
Absolutely. Yeah, at the end of the day, he's not going to go in there and stop every opponent, so this was a good learning contest for him against someone who's boxed at world level and has boxed many world champions, and he gave him a boxing lesson there over 6 rounds. So I think Briceno will know that he's been in with a very talented kid. The only question will be is, can he do it over 10, 12 rounds? I know he can, because I've trained him in the gym at GB. I've watched him in spars, I've had him on the pads. He's got a great engine. Yeah, he's a talent.
Well, as I mentioned, Charlie Edwards just behind us, hoping to fight for the British. Fairly soon it's vacant. Maybe these two could do it. Let's go to our MC now, Paul Booth.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of super flyweight boxing, we ask our scoring referee to decide the contest. He sees it at 60 points to 54 points in favour of our winner, and still undefeated as a professional boxer from Barry, South Wales, Andrew Superstar Selby.
Well, the latest chapter for Andrew Selby. The first time he's been taken the distance, but it's 3 fights and 3 wins now for the man from Barry.